In this video, I want to talk about substantial completion and certificates of substantial completion. So what is substantial completion? In the United States, in the construction industry, substantial completion is understood to be the period of time or the date on which the construction project is substantially complete. That means the owner can use it for its intended purpose, and the owner can move into the project and start doing whatever it is that the project was built for. That doesn't mean it's totally complete. There may be a number of punch list items, minor punch list items, that the contractor still has to complete, maybe some painting or some other minor things. Now, why is it important to know what the date of substantial completion is? For a contractor, it's important to know that because the contractor's warranties, for the most part, start running on the date of substantial completion. So, for instance, if the contractor has a 1-year warranty for his doors, then that warranty starts to run on the date of substantial completion. And at the end of that warranty period, let's say it's a year after the date of substantial completion, that warranty terminates. For the architect and some of the other participants on the project, the date of substantial completion determines when the architect's liability starts for purposes of statute of limitations and statute of repose. Those are two statutes in every state. They're slightly different in different jurisdictions, but they tell you how long of a window there is for somebody to sue you, the owner, another contractor, or whoever. Those periods generally start to run on the date of substantial completion. Now, so it's important to know what that date is. The best way to do that is to have a certificate of substantial completion. This is something that the architect prepares. The AIA has a form G704, which is really the best way to do this. So you take that form, it's a one-page form, and I'm going to show you at the end of this video how to fill it out. You fill out that form, you indicate what the date of substantial completion is, how much work is left to be done, the approximate amount of money to withhold from the contractor to make sure he finishes his punch list, and so forth. There's a few other items on there. And by using that form and filling it out and issuing it, the architect then has established what that date of substantial completion is. Whether the owner signs it or not, whether the contractor signs it or not, that's really going to be the best evidence in most cases as to what that date is. The architect really needs to know that to avoid a court fight if he gets sued later on, as to whether that suit was brought within those periods of time. Again, statute of limitations, statute of repose. We have some YouTube videos online that you can take a look at. But it's very important to establish what that date is for each construction project. And the architect should use that certificate and issue it whether requested or not. So here is what the certificate looks like, and let's walk through it. This is the G704 form. The first part indicates the project information, the owner, and who the contractor is. The second part indicates whether the entire project or only a portion of the project is substantially complete. Generally, it's the entire project, and that's all you have to say. If the project is divided into phases, then you would have to indicate which phase is complete under this particular certificate and probably issue multiple certificates. The third section is for warranties that do not start on the date of this particular certificate of substantial completion. If it's the entire project that's subject to this particular certificate, you probably would leave that blank. In the next section, you would indicate the estimated cost of the work that is not complete. And you might even estimate on the high side, 150%, 250% of what you really think it is, and indicate that dollar value there. And generally, that's what the owner would hold back from the contractor at the time of that payment. That last payment would be due then at final completion. There's also a section near the bottom of the page where in some instances you might want to indicate who will be responsible for security, maintenance, heat, utilities, and so forth during the period between the issuance of the certificate of substantial completion and the date of final completion. That may already be spelled out in other contract documents, so you probably want to consult with the owner and other interested parties in filling that out. Now, perhaps the most important part of this whole certificate is the date. That's found in the middle of the page. You put that date in there along with the architect, the firm name, and the individual signing this form. So, again, it's important to know what the date of substantial completion is, and the best way to do that is to use the AIA Certificate of Substantial Completion for your project.